else in this city and throughout this country. Curtis Ray Davis just got back from Baton Rouge and Washington. Brother Davis, open us up with what's really happening out there and what's really going on.
All right, Reverend. Curtis Ray Davis here, Real Talk Radio. I got my people in the house with me. We really about to change the world, you guys. We got House Bill 298. It's to end the slavery exception clause of the Louisiana Constitution. And a lot of people, we've been traveling the country. They're getting it done in Ohio, Colorado, Tennessee, New Jersey, even Utah, California. The bills have been passed, and Texas has a bill that's up for passing right now, and we have the 28th amendment that's to take the 13th Amendment away, where it says slavery is to be abolished except for those duly convicted of a crime. Now, some people say that why are you working so hard on some legislation like this? This is simply symbolic legislation because we got Juneteenth, man. Slavery ended in 1865 in Galveston, Texas, right? And I recently read a poll where it said that only 27% of United States citizens understood that slavery still exists codified in law in the United States of America.
Wow.
So this is going to be one of the topics that we're dealing with today. But the reason that this is not just a symbolic issue is for us to try to think it through for a second. After the Civil War happened, Black people were the most skilled people in the United States of America because we done all the work.
Right.
So our slave masters and our slave masters' children were stuck with a situation like, man, if we fairly compete with them, then they don't get all the jobs. They'll have all the economic success. How can we deal with our Negro problem? Hence, the 13th Amendment of the United States Constitution that basically says that slavery and all forms of discrimination are abolished except for those duly convicted of a crime.
Okay.
Hence the black codes, then convict leasing. If I can make a crime for you not to have a job and say, oh, well, I got him back into slavery right now because now I can lease you out for labor, pay you 2 cents an hour, call it indentured servitude, and we have a great incentive to now incarcerate people of color, Black people, melanated people, and put you back in a condition that is probably now worse than slavery, because at least the master had an incentive to not break your back because he had paid for you. The state didn't pay nothing for you, so he could work you all day. So brothers, introduce yourself.
Can I ask you a question? Again, this is Pastor Charles Daniel. This is Pastor Charles Daniel, and the views expressed only those of Pastor Charles Daniel. How about that?
Yes, sir.
Now, what I want to ask you is, you said 13th Amendment says all form of slavery is abolished except, see, I'm a word man. You said except for those duly convicted of a crime. So you telling me if you get convicted of a crime,
you are now property of the state,
whether you're innocent or guilty.
If you convicted,
but if you
slave.
Convicted,
right?
You telling me CCC got over 750 slaves?
Not CCC. CC is a pre-trial detainee camp.
Right.
But they do have.
So they pre-slave.
They do have work. They do.
So they pre-slave.
Say if I let the good Negroes go, have I?
Sheriff Prater said that he didn't want his to leave because they was watching the car.
If it's a detainee camp,
right,
and they are not slaves, then that mean they pre-slave.
Oh, they getting ready to be slaves.
This is how you look at slavery in 2022. I'm Rob Thomas Jr., Real News Behind the News, Real Talk. But this is how you look at slavery in 2022. Your penitentiaries are the plantations.
Right.
Your state is the slave owner.
Right.
The wardens and the COs are the overseers, and the inmates are the slaves. Nothing has changed. You still got that
plantation. Names have changed.
Just the name.
From master to warden, to overseer to officer.
Right.
To the head man in the field who was black back in the days. And he's black today. He's a line pusher, is what they call it.
Again, guess what? CCC, even though it's a pre-trial detainee camp, it's the slave ship that's taking you to the plantation.
Once you get across, now they catch you in Africa. We're going to call Queensboro, Africa. Right. We're going to call Cedar Grove, Africa. We're going to call Allendale, Africa. So the slave catchers is out there.
I'm an Allendalian now.
You see, let's say we see 3 16-year-olds walking down the street.
Right.
we got to stop and frisk them because
Right.
they looking suspicious.
Right.
Because
They
they
might have
16 and black.
Joints in their pocket. They're not doing nothing wrong.
Right.
They walking down the street.
Yeah.
Right.
Usually the police apparatus, they call this weaponizing the legal system.
Right.
The police